saying goodbye to 2021. Man, that just sounds weird to say. Now, I guess I find myself not having such of a sentimental or nostalgic feeling as I have with previous years. I guess I could say the same thing for the year prior. Now, I consider myself and my family some of the luckiest people on the planet. During these last couple years, with the lockdowns and the stay at home and all the riots and all the uncertainty and scary stuff happening out there, we were able to go camping. We have a lot of property here in southeastern Ohio, and we could kind of just drift out there, throw a tent up in the air, and kind of just forget about stuff, even if it was only for a little bit. Now, before this happened, I can count on one hand the number of times that we all went camping as a family. So I guess there's a silver lining to that cloud. Now, of course, if we're outside, Halo's got to be with us. And if Halo's outside, she usually finds some kind of water to get in. Sweetie doesn't go in the water too much. She kind of gets washed away. My son picked up a German Shepherd when he come back from the military. Him and Halo got along pretty good, but this has been a few months and he's probably twice the size of Halo now. Now, we never got the big storms that we usually get in June, July, and maybe even early August. We had a couple, but it wasn't anything like what we usually have. There was no real power outages or roads closed or washed out. Just some thunder, and I think maybe we had hail one time. But all in all, it was a pretty mild summer. Well, like it usually does, fall kind of snuck up on us. I was happy to see the heat and humidity go away, and I always look forward to the changing of the leaves. Oops, pardon me. Now, this is a time lapse in the woods here that I absolutely love, that there's very, very little motion. Kind of really puts into perspective how still, calm, and peaceful the woods actually can be. And of course, other times it can be pretty rough, but this time it was pretty nice, pretty calm, hardly even a breeze. And just like that, winter showed up. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I sure love the snow. Then we had this weird duck show up.
What the fuck is that thing?
Now, I'm sure every kid's done it, but when the snow comes down, I used to pretend that I was in the Millennium Falcon, and we were traveling at light speed, especially if we were in a car at nighttime with the headlights. That was always fun. And this is a pretty cool time lapse. If you watch the bush on the right hand side, it kind of gets squished down by the snow. Now, we've got probably 20 to 30 different trails back through here in the hills. I'd say if I started walking first thing in the morning, it would take me probably just about till dusk to cover them all. And although in the wintertime it is a lot easier to get around on the four-wheeler, and I think that's Halo's favorite thing to do. Now, of all the trails out here in the woods, this one's probably my favorite. A couple years ago, we decided to take an old machine shed out here and turn it into a little off-grid cabin. And it's off-grid because it's so far away from any kind of power source, and it would cost way too much to run any wire out here. And I had a bunch of solar panels laying around anyway. Now, I spent a lot of time in my cabin, and I'll tell you, there is something so rewarding about coming back up the trail on foot after spending a long time in the creek and seeing the smoke coming out of the stack like that, and you just know that when you go inside there, it's going to be warm. Now, there once was a guy named Bob Hart. He lived in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge in Alaska, and he was a trapper and lived on his own. And I often think about him when I'm out here in the woods and kind of doing my own thing. After he died, they did a documentary on him. This is a little audio clip of his voice.
One hand you grab him by the collar, the other hand you grab his ball.
Now, he lived a life that many of us dream of out there in the bush, just living on his wits. He raised a family and survived. I must have watched that documentary 50 times in 2021. Now, the end of the year wasn't snowy at all, and it wasn't really even that cold. I think it was 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and we had a lot of rain. We had so much rain that the wife and I, and of course Halo, had to work pretty hard on saving this bridge from being washed out. Now, the good news is we did end up saving it. Sweetie even tried to help a little bit, but she doesn't do much. Now, Sweetie thinks she's a big dog, and she kind of runs along with the four-wheeler just about the same as Halo does, only at a much slower pace. Now, it seems like there's always something that needs built, or worked on, or straightened around, or cleaned up. Or there's always maintenance that needs done, even if it's a temporary fix. It's not all bad, because usually there's a little wet nose to come help you out. There we go. I guess my goal for 2022 is to kind of slow down and not work so hard and just enjoy life. There are so many amazing things just outside, just out your window, under this bush, in this little bird nest. I guess we have to take whatever life brings us, and I truly hope that your 2022 is the best year ever. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a good one, and keep your powder dry. See you next time.